Carmen Rempel and me. We're here to have a chat. Hi, Carmen.
Hey, how's it going, Brian?
It's going darn fine. Tell us your story. Who are you? What do you do? How long have you been doing it? How old are you? And where are you going to go next?
Whoa, those are a lot of different things to answer. Well, Carmen Rempel, I'm the director of Youth for Christ Okanagan, a small nonprofit that works with high-risk youth in the Okanagan area. Just established it a year ago. That's my professional life. In my personal life, I am a foster mom of a wonderful 11-year-old little girl who's just a gem. And currently, my husband is away, so I'm rocking the single foster mom life for the next 6 months.
Where's he away to?
He's training to become an RCMP officer.
Oh my, cool stuff. How long does it take you every day to do your hair?
To do my hair, do you know what? Every day, it takes like no time at all. But about once a month, I have to sit down for a good 2 hours and maintain this thing.
Cool. Youth for Christ, what is it?
Youth for Christ is a faith-based organization that really simply put, it's about bringing hope into the lives of young people who have none.
What kind of young people? Like bad young people?
Bad. Now, I'm not going to call them bad.
Well, I'll call them bad.
Well, I'll call them kids who have been dealt a really rough set of cards in their lives.
How old of kids?
We stretch anywhere from 8 to 24-year-olds because we're realizing that adolescence is starting younger and extending on longer.
So Youth for Christ is I think, a national organization.
It is.
International also, or just
Absolutely.
national?
We're actually in more countries in the world than we're not in at this point.
And the website is what? Youthforchrist.com, maybe?
Yeah, we have yfccanada.org is sort of our national one.
So Youth for Christ goes out, and the target is kids that are unhappy in life, I guess, or maybe they are and they don't even know it yet, but they have the potential of being bad, and they reach out and try to help. And you're one of those people that you're going to lead people out of the wilderness.
That's the hope.
And you're how old?
28.
And how long have you been doing this?
Since I was a young person myself. I started as an intern when I was 19 years old.
So you've been doing this now for 9 years, and you're in charge. You're the boss of this region.
Big boss lady.
Big boss lady. I like that. That's cool. That's why you need the husband with the gun, just in case. So what do you do? Give me an example of your day. Like, you go into like a bad area where there's a bunch of wayward youth, 15, 16, 17 years old, and you walk in amongst them and you say, guys, I'm here to help you. I want you to have a better life. Putting words in your mouth here, but I'm just trying to get the sense. And our company, our call the company is Youth for Christ, and they hear the word Christ. Do they run away? Do they mock you? Are you worried about your safety? A lot of big words in a long question. Answer me.
Yeah, okay. So first off, to give an example of my day, so Thursday morning I woke up at 5 a.m. with a phone call from a young person. And when I picked up the phone, on the other end, all I could hear was screaming. And he was screaming and screaming, and by the time he calmed down, he told me that he was sitting inside his deep freezer, screaming. And this was a suicidal young person, and this was sort of his last reach out for help. So I spent the first hour of my morning on Thursday talking this young person down, and then calling the proper people to make sure that this person was safe. So really my role is to be that person that the kids call. Like when they have nobody else, and when they're in a place of desperation, we're the ones.
That's really cool. And you have staff?
Yeah, I do. I have 2 guys working for me. They're awesome.
Okay, cool. Now what if a kid at 15 who's been bad and he's done bad things, and you're kind of saving him, and he's coming around and he doesn't want to grab the religious or spiritual component? Do you dump him?
No, of course not. No, the message is you are loved and you belong and you have purpose and you are worthy of love no matter who you are or what you believe.
So you're making me better, and I don't want to do the Christ thing, and I'm still okay. You're still going to spend time with me.
You'll always belong.
Good. I like that. Now, how many kids do you see? How many have you got? Do you have a clubhouse? Give me an example of a weekend with a bunch of kids. Like, are they mostly boys?
Well, right now, one of our main things is that we run a snowboarding program. Yeah. So Friday nights we head up to local mountain. Most of those are guys.
Yeah. How old are they?
These kids are in grade 11 or 12.
And what's their background? Like, have they slit somebody's throat or done anything like that?
Well, a few of them I've come into contact with through RCMP, who have sent these kids my way because they need a little extra TLC. Other ones we've just met at the alternative school in town. We've met literally on the streets, wandering around downtown. These are the kids that are under bridges and sitting in parks where they shouldn't be. And you know when you're driving downtown, you see a kid in the park late at night, and you're thinking, shouldn't you be home?
He doesn't have a home.
Yeah. Either that or the cold park is better than the home.
Yeah. Were these kids ever like adopted, or they're just kind of put out on their own? Tell me about the adoption thing
Oh,
in the
goodness.
world. Where does that go with this? I mean, are they from the foster home system, most of them?
Many of them have had some sort of experience with foster care, but by the time they get older, the system kind of says, by the time you're 12, well, you can hack it at home. Like now this is just a parent-teen conflict, and now this is more just an attitude instead of actually needing to protect a child. And so instead of putting them in a caring home where they can be supported and loved, they're sent off, they're emancipated, or they have some sort of youth agreement. They get given like $800 a month and said, go find your own apartment, go find your own place to live, like start living on your own. And it's a disaster.
Oh my. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun for all these kids. So adoption, are you going to adopt kids yourself?
That's the plan.
Yeah?
Yeah, my husband and I have signed up for a concurrent adoption program, which is like a foster to adopt situation.
Apparently in England, you're not allowed to adopt if you're a Christian and you don't believe in homosexuality and stuff like that. You're outlawed from adopting kids. Is that... I think that's kind of accurate based on what we've seen, you and I together on the web. Anything like that in Canada?
No,
Not
we've
yet?
actually gone through the system. It's been pretty smooth. They were pretty excited to see us coming.
Yeah, good.
There have been some parameters put in place, right? Because they say, like when it comes to First Nations stuff, it's really not likely that we would get a First Nations child.
Yeah.
And us being Christians, we can't adopt a kid who isn't a Christian or is a part of a different faith.
Why Youth for Christ? I get it. I mean, that's what you are. But why the name Christ? Would you be better without it in there? And it's like a company. You tell them later what you do. Like, is that something that holds you back? Is it in your way? But by having it front and center.
I was asked that, and I was given the opportunity to change our name to something else, but I stuck with the name Youth for Christ because I think it's honest, because I'm proud of the fact that that we are a faith-based organization. I'm proud of the fact that this is an international organization, and I have brothers and sisters, a part of Youth for Christ, who are getting bombs dropped on their heads, and they are in situations that are much scarier than mine, and they're sticking with the name Youth for Christ, so I can do it too.
As you should. I agree. I just wanted to know why. So there you go. Tell me about your kids that you're out finding, and how many have you got now? Like 30, 40? I know we talked about the skateboarding crowd, but overall?
Overall, we probably, I know the names of and regularly interact with about 75 kids.
Oh boy, good stuff. Now their home lives are kind of. I'll come up with a word.
Yeah, sure. It's different.
That's messed up.
Do you know what? It's so different because I've been in this work long enough to know that when you look at a kid, you have no idea where they're coming from, because there are some kids that are smart and on the right path, and they're driven and they're go-getters and they're kind to other people, and then you meet their parents and you're like,
yeah, duh.
Oh, how did you manage this? And then it goes the opposite. You see some kids that are so messed up and are just off the wall, and you meet their parents, and there's these kind, generous people who have no idea what went wrong with their kid.
Yeah, that's a tough one. How do you know? There's no formula,
There
I guess.
isn't.
So you just have to do what you do. So in terms of the business aspect of what you're doing, how do you survive? Everybody has to be paid. I mean, I know you have a bus that somebody donated. I know you have a boat that somebody donated, and you take the kids out skiing, water skiing, and all of this, which is really cool. So people care.
Absolutely.
People give you things, but it's kind of one of these, in terms of income I'm talking, it's one of these things like eat what you kill. Like there is no regular money coming in. You have to go out and get it. Yeah,
it's been a pleasure, because we go out and we find people who are super passionate about the work that we're doing, but they don't want to do it.
No.
So you might be very passionate about these young people, but you're saying, I'm not going to go down to the parks at midnight. I'm not going to go to the high school and play basketball at gym, but I can make money.
Oh, hey, I've done this myself.
Right?
I think I'm smart, and I've gone and I've written checks and given money to people, and you know what happens? They try to return everything to Walmart, and they phone you all the time, and I finally figured it out. You got to go to somebody that is in the business, and that's you.
Yeah.
And your organization, Youth for Christ. Now, I get it. And I think most people do get it. The odd person like me has to step out and think he's a hero, and then you get messed up and come back to you. So donations is what makes it work.
100%.
And people give money, they get their tax stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
In addition, but more importantly, they know the job's getting done, and somebody truly is getting let out of the wilderness. Hey.
That's it.
I got it right?
You got it right.
This is good. Hey, what's your website?
www.yfco.ca.
Say it again.
www.yfco.ca.
Hey, you got it. Thanks a lot, Carmen. Nice talking to you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, bye-bye.